most people have a favorite game or games which are well known and popular. Granted, good games are popular, but indie games and upcoming developers are left in the dark as these huge AAA games cover the entire platform. Recently, this has been changing as platforms like Steam and Epic Games have been promoting more indie games. The point is that so many experimental games are lost in the shadows of these huge AAA titles. These games are made with passion and a sense of freedom which are not found in most AAA titles. Indie game genres like psychedelic games have flashing lights and bright colors, which are not normally everyone's cup of tea, but has huge artistic potential. A good trippy game is not to make the imagery as trippy as possible, but how well is the art used to make the player feel a certain way. The first game I mentioned in this video did exactly that. Also yeah, I played all the games on this list so as to not half-ass this video. Since this is not a Watch Mojo video, here are some actual good games which fit different categories. Abyssal Somewhere is a free or pay what you want game made by No Noise, which does not feature bright colors per se, but is a stimulating game. The atmosphere is weird and desolate in this Souls-like game. Even though there is no way you can die in this game, at least I haven't died even after my colossal blunders, the atmosphere sometimes is so tense. There are times when I scare myself by thinking something might be behind me or is chasing me, and chills run up my spine. So you might ask, why is it in the list of these games? Well, the answer is that the game is trippy from an emotional standpoint, and some ending sequences are trippy as well. Not only visually, but how you play your character is very different in the end. The climactic sequence of this game gave me the godmother of all chills I've ever experienced in my entire life. The ending feels like you've taken LSD on a roller coaster. Even though this is not a hardcore Souls game, the abstract usage of environments feels so desolate and outright terrifying sometimes. So if you're a fan of one setting playthrough of an atmospheric game, then you definitely need to give this one a go. Water Womb World is a free game made by Yames which deals with some cosmic horror elements. In this game, you're a researcher that's on a hunt to find proof of ancient intelligent life in the deep ocean floor. This game was my introduction to a different art style of indie games. It's all thanks to Markiplier for playing this game on his channel. To be honest, my love for indie games started because of Markiplier, so I owe a lot to Mark and his love for indie games. The game though has trippy visual aesthetics, a creepy atmosphere, and an unsettling soundtrack. Although a short game, the game's atmosphere and aesthetic alone make up for the short playthrough. Even if you're not a fan of trippy visuals, the game is a solid cosmic horror game. Yames, the creator of this game by the way, has given me permission to use his OST in my videos and on streams. So a huge shout out to Yames for being kind enough to let me do so. Also, this isn't the last Yames feature on this video, so stay tuned. Critters for Sale isn't your average 2-bit trippy game to play when you're high. It's a game that has potential to be the poster for why abstract art and artistic freedom of games can be very interesting and complementary to the story of the game. The creator, Sonoshi, features a compilation of 5 stories: snake, goat, monkey, dragon, and spider in the game, all of which occur in different eras and locations, touching on themes like time travel, black magic, immortality with multiple endings, and somewhat broad storyline. This game too features some cosmic horror elements, while not taking itself too seriously. Such games give me a sense of freedom from developers, and I think such freedom should be encouraged in gaming culture. Although it's a bummer that people who are sensitive to flashy lights cannot play this game. This game genuinely made me scared Not because of a jump scare, not that there are any, but how well the situations are portrayed make this game creepy and at times terrifying. This game can be played for a long period of time because of multiple endings with an intricate storyline, and can also be enjoyed mindlessly clicking the different decisions in the game which give different outcomes. Post-Void is a retro-style first-person run-and-gun shooter with very trippy visuals and bright colors. So if you're even somewhat sensitive to bright flashy lights, do not pick this game up. This is an arcade-style game with one chance to go as far as you can. You play a character who has limited time with his healing pot, where you have to kill enemies to earn extra time, and taking hits reduces your time. All you need to do is kill enemies and earn time to reach the next level. Each end of the level gives you an upgrade too. So if you want to fry your brain while high, then try playing this FPS arcade style game. Personally, I was not willing to put too much effort into this game as it is hard to play since you manage resources trying to shoot as accurately as possible in a trippy environment. But it sure as hell feels like you're on some drugs, so +1 for that. The next game though I think does the competitive single life arcade part much better. Devil Daggers by Sorath is a fast-paced shooter that places you in an abyssal arena to face endless legions of demons. It has a very fluid movement system and is actually really fun to play. Even though this is similar to Post-Void, as this game too is how long can you survive on a single life, but playing this game to me is so much more fun than Post-Void. On its own though, it's not very trippy, as this game features standard, dark, Doom-like red-brown color palette. The trippy goodness lies in several mods which are available for this game. The ones I recommend are Ethereal mod, Frostbite mod, and if you don't care about storing your scores, and just want a fun trippy experience, then the best mod I recommend is the Ethereal mod. Links for the mods are in the description. Plus, all the mods are free. But if you are really good at the game, even without mods, the game eventually gets real trippy for you. Even though this game is 4 years old, I think this is a timeless game and is always fun to play and revisit. Especially if you like the game Dusk, then this game will definitely be a great pick for your library. For my quest of finding the best trippy games out there, I had to try out so many games to filter out the best ones and give you my honest opinion about them. So do consider giving me a fat like. Here are some honorable mentions though, which aren't the best but are sure worth checking out. The Well by Yames is a 2-bit Lovecraftian horror game which is based on a poem by H.P. Lovecraft. It's the first entry to the series of small games called Yames' Secret Games, which will be available to his patrons. This game though is a one-button game that does a great job to instill fear and capture the cosmic horror elements. Plus the visuals are really good for what you can expect of a 2-bit game. So when Mark played Ode to a Moon on one of his 3 scary games, approximately 2 years ago, I was surprised by the art style of the game and loved every bit of it. Even though it was a trippy game and made me appreciate the aesthetic, I did not remind myself of this game until I decided to make this video. So out of curiosity, I checked out the creator Colorfiction on itch.io and came across a whole catalog of games. Even though the games I mentioned in this video have no story, at least to my knowledge, these games make a great addition to your catalog of trippy games. AE is a game which features some cold visuals, which feels like they've been picked straight out of the North Pole, but starts in a black and white color palette of a 90s household. Since the game doesn't have any different colors other than white, different shades of gray, and black, people who are sensitive to colors can still enjoy this game. The game still feels very trippy, with textures you can walk through and cliffs you can jump off of. Nonetheless, the atmosphere and the desolate nature of the visuals can thoroughly be appreciated. Since the way things are portrayed, the game seems like a project started but not finished. That Feeling Blue is a walking simulator which is very trippy with deep blue or purple atmosphere with breathtaking visuals, especially the designs on the sky which have been done so well. This doesn't have any puzzle systems in place and is just a walk around and explore kind of game which is perfect for idle playing and winding down after a hard day. Although the games which I have mentioned by Colorfiction don't have any story elements even remotely close to Ode to a Moon, which already has a loose story, the games make up for it with aesthetic and visual quality of how trippy the visuals are. That Night Steeped by Blood River is a free game made by a tailored Abyss. It's a walking simulator with some puzzle elements which has very trippy atmosphere and visuals. Although this game still has a bunch of bugs, if you want a good trippy visual experience, then this game is perfect for you. There are no hard puzzles or mechanics. The one problem I had with this game is that it does not show the mandatory tasks that need to be performed beforehand, and the progression of the game is halted in that one yellow-green garden. Putting my 3-head brain aside, the game is a great pick for your visual trippy needs. The Haunted PS1 is a community for low-resolution game developers and enthusiasts, run by Aiden Cushing. Every spooky month, they release a bunch of PS1-style games as demo discs for free to promote indie releases and game devs that love making PS1-style games or low-resolution games. Even though these are horror games, pick these up every year for a whole new treasure trove of trippy games. The games aside, I have huge respect for what Aiden has achieved in their The Haunted PS1 Project, which promotes so many cool developers and rekindles the passion and the joy of making and playing low-res games. If you're out there watching this video, a huge thanks, and personally, I wish nothing but success for you and the Haunted PS1 Project. Okay, so why am I making this video? As an artist myself, I love to create, make, and release various projects, and on the way get some validation. When we are new to making something specific, we do not have any boundaries and have so much more creative freedom, as the creativity has not yet been contaminated with other people's perception of good and bad. Due to this freedom, the ideas that come out of budding artists are more abstract and out of the box than one can imagine. This is shown time and time again in indie game scenes and indie game developers who are not afraid to blur the genres and break boundaries of their work. This is just one of the many reasons why the indie game scene is so much more interesting than your standard Steam or Epic Games page. So keep supporting as many indie game developers as you can and send some love, because maybe one day you might be the reason an amazing game comes out. So in reference to this, check out G-Rounds, where you can check out upcoming indie games and give feedback and support to a lot of indie game developers and play their games early. Just like the Haunted PS1, the people at G-Rounds have been so amazing and supportive towards new indie game developers, so be sure to check them out. They're not sponsoring me, by the way. It's just because organizations like these help encourage more people who are passionate about making games and help them find more support, of which they definitely need. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I hope you got your fill of some cool games to try out. Be sure to support the games I mentioned in here. Links are all in the description. See you later.